Hi there, viewers and gamers alike out there, and game novelists. Welcome back for more of A Winter's Daydream. So this game is available, or this game novel is available on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and I think it's on Steam, I'm not so sure, and it's also on the Nintendo Switch. So, woohoo! So let's go continue our story in progress. The next day arrives and I awake with a yawn. The sunlight streams in through the window, illuminating the top of my head. It's nice and warm. I think it snowed a little during the night, but the gentle sunlight of this brand new day has probably melted some of it. Birds twitter on the denuded branches of the trees outside. They sound oddly loud in the relative silence of this morning, and I groan. Part of me wants to open the window and shoo the birds away, but another part of me thinks that would require too much effort. What if, upon approaching the birds, they saw fit to reply in perfectly fluent Japanese? Fantastical though it sounds, I don't think I'd be too surprised if the birds spoke to me. Not after all the other bizarre things that happened lately. That have happened. This world is stranger and more peculiar than I once let myself believe. It's filled with odd, improbable things, and most of us never even realize it. We're so swept up in the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we fail to notice just how much magic there is in this world. And I'm not just talking about the spirits. There are other kinds of magic too, in the warmth of the sunshine, or the singing of birds, even in winter, or the smell of my grandmother's cooking. I gotta be careful when I read. I read it, but I gotta be careful. Speaking of which, I rise to my feet. My toes curl against the tatami mats. They feel scratchy against my bare skin. It's not entirely pleasant. Then, I throw on my clothes and make my way to the kitchen. Standing by the stove, stirring what seems to be a pot of miso soup. And Umeko is back to herself again. It only lasted for one day, remember? Just one whole day. It's my grandmother. This time, she really does look like my grandmother. And yes, she is back to herself and not as a teenager. A very old teenager. The pretty young lady I met yesterday is gone. The woman in the kitchen with her beige sweater and her choppy, weathered hands is a woman I know very well. Grandma Umeko. My father's mother. It's the woman who told me silly horror stories when I was a child. The woman who ate slices of watermelon with me outside in the summer. The woman who cuddled up with me on her old sofa in front of her boxy television set to watch Pokemon with me, though she didn't understand any of it at all. Sometimes. I used to hate visiting my grandmother when I was very little. I never realized how much of an effort she made. Though I thought she was dreadfully dull and boring, and whenever she tried to share any of my interests, I silently resented her. When my dad asked me to give my grandmother a kiss before we went home, I turned my head sullenly and folded my arms across my chest. I thought being kissed by my grandmother was terribly not great. And I didn't want to catch germs, but like cooties, which I don't think cooties don't exist. Plus, she smelled but I don't think that I mind that now. I'm a little older, and I like to think I'm more mature. And although we are grandmother and grandson, with a large generational gap between us, I'd like to believe we can still be friends. I set the table while my grandmother stirs the miso soup. The two of us work together in companionable silence while the birds twitter outside. When the food is done, my grandmother carries the various plates and bowls to the table. Her food, like always, looks delicious. The miso soup is accompanied with bowls of brown rice, fresh pickles, and fried sorry. Yeah. Looks amazing, but you didn't need to go through all this effort, but I wanted to. Oh, really? It's no big deal, really. I'm more than happy to oblige. I fish a chunk of tofu out of my miso soup and pop it into my mouth, chewing slowly. My grandmother's miso soup tastes different to my mother's. It's a bit richer, slightly earthier. I think she uses a different kind of dashi, and more of it too. I never really liked the taste when I was very little, but I've developed a newfound appreciation for it. This is the food my grandmother made for my grandfather when they were still together. She made it with careful consideration, and it's filled with love. So, my grandpa always liked miso soup, huh? I can tell it tastes I paused trying to search for the right word. Warm? Wouldn't taste very good if it was stone cold, to be honest, believe you and me. That isn't what I meant. I just... Yeah. Yes, you like doing that. Even though back at the little ice cream parlor where you try to hit my quad like I'm going out with my grandmother who's my soulmate but is not, which is weird, but I like it that way. I have such weird taste now, don't I? It's like you got a different taste in nature, and I'm gonna say I do. It's just like the Princess Bride. I'm not saying I want to build a summer home, but it's not like I want to build a summer treehouse home here, but the trees are quite lovely. What? Come at any expense. Really, he always loses his temper. That's impressive. The two of us continue to eat together, our heads bowed, bathed in the sunlight that spills through the windows. For a single, shining day, my grandmother was a very young lady again, like going back to the fountain of youth thing. Now, she's an old woman. She's reverted back to the way she always used to be, like Cinderella. I have to wonder whether the enchantment faded away as she was lying in her bed as the clock struck midnight. Her long, dark hair slowly turning white, while her skin formed wrinkles like a pickled plum. My grandmother doesn't look unhappy by this sudden transformation, however. Rather, she seems quietly content, like one who has come to accept the innumerable inevitabilities of life. Yeah, and she's like the Cinderella type of character. And she's like the most prettiest young woman in all of Japan. Really, really pretty. How does going back to your old body feel? Old being the operative word. Old? I wouldn't call it playing pretend. Are you in a lot of pain? Because it can't be helped? You don't regret it even a little? I see. You mean memories are more special if they remain memories? I mean, those who live long, like Saiyans who go from a lifespan of 200 years, including star beings, and not to mention those who are longer than that, would say maybe 300 to 500 years, like the Halo series. Like you saw your grandmother and your mother getting older? Time moves on. I thought you loved reading. Sometimes that the real life and the fantasy can also make it into reality, of course. I chew my food slowly, thoughtfully, and let the taste of my grandmother's miso soup spread across my tongue. As I swallow, I ponder. Will I be able to talk to the unerring march of time with such serenity when I'm my grandmother's age? Will I be able to accept my gradual decline and decay as a natural part of life, or will I struggle against it? Will I try and fight the flow of fate, like a swimmer out at sea, attempting to combat a fierce tidal wave? Well, we may not stop time for ourselves, but we can be able to slow down the aging process, which is possible, not probable. It is. Make that probable, but it's not possible to stop the flow of time, but it's probable to slow down the aging process of ourselves, if you want to know. I said probable. I don't know. I can't imagine coming to terms with the concept as well. And no, it's not the Lazarus Pit, because Rachel Gu is just an idiot for doing this. Can't imagine coming to terms with a concept as all-consuming as my own death, but I'm still young. I have a long life still ahead of me. My grandmother, meanwhile, has already lived most of hers. We have different perspectives. I have to get to where my grandmother is right now. Time is limited, I know that. When you are young, it seems to stretch out endlessly. Infinitely. There's a whole wide world out there for me to explore. I'm just getting started. And so is myself in real life. Will I be leaving soon? Now that you mention it, yeah. Leaving? She's right. I only ever intended to stay here for a couple of days. Now those couple of days have passed. However, I wouldn't mind staying here a little bit longer. December 31st, New Year's Eve. I'm supposed to go to the local shrine with Mom and Dad and Otoko tonight. I almost forgot. How could I forget? I'm sure Otoko won't. And what about the trains? I don't know if they'll be running. Right. My grandmother smiles coyly. That's a word, coyly. You're not sure you trust Mr. Nakamura is what you're saying. He drove like a man possessed yesterday. Maybe he wanted to show off. I bet it's not every day he meets such a pretty young lady on his bus route, and from Tokyo no less. Why not? You didn't like the attention? You saying, well... No, he's young enough to be your son. You should feel thankful. I see. Now that's a mental image I don't need. I hope not. My grandmother notices my discomfort and smiles, resting a hand on my shoulder. Oh, right. I should stop taking you so seriously. Almost everything that comes out of her mouth is some kind of silly joke. She's always been this way. You are my family too. And I know it's not your time. You promise? Yes! Woohoo! Grandma Umeko, you are the best. Then I'll do my best to create some stories worthy of your attention. In a great, awesome, happy manner. My grandmother ruffles my hair and, for once, it doesn't annoy me. In fact, I think I quite like it. I like being with my grandmother. I never thought I had cause to say this in my life, but she really does mean a lot to me. I suppose the old saying is really true. Blood is thicker than water. I was a fool not to realize it sooner, but at least I wasn't too late. I think that's the biggest blessing of all. I know if this may look, this is the ending credits, but this is not the last final episode. It's not the finale, but the next one is the finale, not this one, so just bear with me. They're showing you the pictures of what you see in the gallery right here. Yeah, this game created by Ibehime. I mean, some fanciful novels similar to that from Soviet Union games or so on and so forth, like Everlasting Summer, for example. Which that will be another Let's Play in the near future, and it's available on the Google and Apple Store, and it's also available on Steam. So that's for another time. It's absolutely incredible. there. There's the front door to the hallway. Been back in with Mom and Dad in Otoko's home. That is Grandma's living room, and the background's interface is just absolutely wonderful. No, this is not the finale, okay? So this isn't the finale. Music is fantastic. I just love it. Sound effects is absolutely amazing. Wonderful, wonderfully amazing. The fonts, wow, well done. The antique shop outside with snow on the benches in the middle of a park. Lovely. And a cafe, and it's it is just absolutely amazing. You're not gonna find something that's specifically like that. Now that is real great art. I don't mind fan art, but that is absolutely amazing. That is the old shrine that's never been repaired, but the way you put in the snow with it, it's just, wow, that is something else you're not gonna see. May say thank you for reading, but I'm not done yet. Not done yet. Okay, and it seems we are going to stop here for the time being, and don't you worry, we are going to continue to pick up from where we left off for our finale, and that is going to be on a Mother's Day, so yeah! So once again, this is Leo Wolverine saying and speaking as always as your friendly neighborhood spider cop who takes chances, making mistakes, and getting messy, like peanut butter and chocolate on breakfast for dinner. Because when the going gets tough, the job gets it done for a breath of fresh air. And Leo's Let's Plays Alliance. And like this video, or mash that button to like this, or share this video if you guys love novel games such as myself. That this is going to be like 10 episodes. So anyways, this is Leo Wolverine saying once again, Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice, and see you guys next time for our finale, which will be on a Mother's Day. So whether I'm here or not on the premiere video is up to you. So until then, arigato!